All right, well, what is up, everybody? This is Keith, aka Gear Guy 231. If you notice, it's like not as much energy this morning because it's really early, and I wasn't even gonna do this video. Had enough people reach out, not only in FSI Discord but on Twitter. So I'm gonna do a short video for the slate. It is the Manchester Derby, so at this point, this might be the game that just finalizes the entire season. I mean, I think City already has won the league. They're just too good. I think they're the best team in the world, personally. Bayern, especially after that comeback win versus Dortmund, might have something to say about that. But I guess PSG when they get Neymar back, I guess, right? But it's probably like City, Bayern a little bit less just because their defense is so suspect, and then I think like a full step down PSG, and then everybody else. It's just one of those seasons. But big game versus United today, so we're gonna talk about that. I'll spend a little bit more time on that because that's the big showdown today too. But just a quick reminder: if you want to give us some love, give me some love for doing this extra video. Bottom right of the screen is the subscribe button. Also, please like, comment, all that good stuff. Really does help. Like it really, really does help. Finally, if you see on my tab, if you want one other thing that helps me, I'm going to be dropping a Sorare video. I'm hoping today. It's awesome. It's totally become like my favorite thing in between, like when lineups are done. If I'm just like chilling around, is check out the Sorare market, check out if there's players that I want to do. It's so cool. Looking forward to maybe just like showing you all how to play it and some basics. So my referral code is also in the details. Please use it if you do sign up. There's a free way to play, and then there's somewhere you can start spending some money. If you do end up, playing it for some money, we both get a reward for doing so. So drop my code if you want to join. All right, let's go into the games. Let's start with the odds. Explicitly, that's not even the right word. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I don't know why Liverpool is the biggest favorite in the slate. Respect, as Jose would say, I guess. I don't know. Minus 220 at home versus Fulham. I'm probably playing Areola. So Liverpool just can't score. They're kind of like the Brighton. It's so tough. They have to win. Like this is a must 3 points for Liverpool if they have any chance of like getting top four. So they are going to press. Even if you think that, and look, I'm going to come like in and out of DFS analysis on this. I want to try to say 10 minutes. So that probably means this will be 30. But even if you think Liverpool is going to like snap out of it, I still think there's equity in Areola just because of how struggling Liverpool is to finish. Hopefully they are shooting a ton and you get some save opportunities. Second game is the Derby. Manchester City is minus 194. I think that's a pretty good line. 2.5 total. I think it's just really tough. At first I was surprised by the total. And the more I thought about it, City isn't exactly like trying to hang 9 goals on people. Like they are still being a lot more controlled, I think is maybe the word when I've watched. Making sure that they don't leak from the back for their attack because they just know their defense is so good. It kind of reminds me of at times Liverpool last year versus the year before. I know City fans are like, of course this guy brings back to Liverpool. And yeah, that's my team. So tough. But, when they won the Champions League, they had gotten good at the back, but they were still like mostly still attacking. They would get leaky from the back. And then for the Premier League run, at the beginning of the season, a lot of us were wondering like why they weren't scoring as much, but there was just such a focus on the back line, such a focus on the midfield in terms of controlling games. And I think City's kind of undoing that type of switch right now. It's where it's really about controlling games, and when the goals come or when the opportunity seizes, City just jumps all over it, which makes them awesome. Final game, which I think is sneaky good spot for DFS, is Spurs versus Palace, minus 192, 2.5 total. I think Palace is terrible. I think Spurs are actually really good. Spurs, in my opinion, Spurs and Liverpool both are actually a little bit disappointing. I think the Spurs are so much more talented than they sometimes show. I think Bale in the starting that front three really is kind of bringing some life to their scoring, and there's a good chance they hang 3 or 4 in Palace. So we'll talk about that. Here's my core: Son, De Bruyne, Alexander-Arnold. If these probably weren't your first 3, you might need to question yourself in terms of your process. Son should be on majority, if not all, corners for Tottenham. It's been nothing short of awesome. Not only like he doesn't get there like the traditional ways, like we take set takers, right? Like last week, only one cross versus Fulham, but two shots assisted, fouls drawn. Like 9.1 was like the lowest outcome he could get. You're more than likely getting what you did versus Burnley with 2 assists, 25.3. No goals or assists versus West Ham, 11.4. Son, I hate to use the term, kind of overdue for a goal, but I think he's kind of overdue for a goal. Kevin De Bruyne, not going to spend any time on that. And then Trent Alexander-Arnold, from a DFS perspective, is back to the Trent Alexander-Arnold of last year. Has just been a double-digit machine. Just go down. Your one blip is West Ham. Go figure. But yeah, that's 6,400. It's way too cheap. All right. Here's where we go for there. I think I like Harry Kane. Like I said, I actually think Tottenham smashes here. So I have a really good chance that I'll play Kane. You have Salah versus Mane. God, I hope Yota's fit. They need a spark, and I will know that at 9. But you could do Salah or Mane. But in my opinion, second forward should be Kane, Mahrez, or Sterling. That's just how I like. That's just how I see the games out. And first off, like it's really cool that DraftKings like priced this so soft because you can get like multiple players. Like if Son was 10 and De Bruyne was 11 and Alexander-Arnold was 8, like this slate would suck. And I wouldn't even want to play it. But now, it's nice that it's soft. Okay, so I think that's forward. I think Bale deserves attention. Biggest concern with Bale is that just now, maybe on a third successive start, either one, he doesn't start, or two, that, he's a sub off early risk, but he's fine. No United for me. They're just going to have to play so much on the counter. We're not going to be on Bruno. If you wanted a, GPP spot, you want to play for like a United 1-0 win or something, play Dean Henderson in goal, run it back with, Rashford with the counter tackle. That's the only way I'd play it. That's GPP only. Yeah, nothing else here. Bernardo Silva at 6,000, I guess, is in play. He just doesn't really have much of a floor. But if you want to shoot for a goal, it's a good price. All right, that's forward. Midfield, no Bruno for me. There's a really good chance that I play a midfield forward here. I think, it's the same guys. I would assume Foden gets run here. So Mars maybe back to bench. I think Mars is a tough fade if he's in. Just because we know United's going to be so much on the sitting back that, yeah, I just think that Mara should play. And then just a question of where Foden goes. City's just too many guys. So, whoever Pep feels best about, like that's why Pep's on the cover, because it's going to be his lineup. I don't think you're going to burn a ton from Liverpool games. So, yeah, nothing else I see really here that I really want. Like, here's the thing: even though I don't like Love and Liverpool, I'm not playing Fulham pieces. Their pieces haven't been exactly like super DFS friendly, anyways. Like Loftus-Cheek at 4,300, I guess. But at that point, I play Rodrigo for 4K. Or Tanguy at 3,700. Yeah. All right. Defender. I guess this is the spot I want to do. I really think that City center backs constantly are underpriced for their floor, just because the amount of passes. You come in with 3 DK just from passes and like the occasional tackle or interception. And then you have very, very live clean sheet equity. And then, at this point, they're becoming goal threats too off corners. So I think Stones at 3,300, I really like. At that point, even though I like DS more as a player, 400 saves really matters on the slate. So I take him over Diaz. You kind of look at what's around him, and it's kind of laughable. I don't think Doherty will be in. He played last game, so it should be Aurier. And maybe the Dyer random free kick goal. That could be fun. So, yeah, and then I think the top guy outside of Alexander-Arnold is Cancelo. Then I would say Robertson. It would be really interesting. Like Liverpool plays a different system though at this point. Like Robertson's crosses are all coming off of corners, so he's just not the same Andy Robertson. They're trying to be a little more defensive. Maybe he loosens the reins a little bit if they're just pummel. I can't talk. It's too early. But if they're just onslaughting Fulham, maybe Robertson. So I think Cancelo versus Robertson is close, but for 500, I'll take the savings on Cancelo. Luke Shaw, I guess, is fine. he did well versus United or City last time. I just think at that point he's too closely priced to Cancelo for me. Wan-Bissaka 3,800 actually might be just as good as Shaw. I don't expect a ton of possession from United, so you're not playing him for the crosses. But Wan-Bissaka is a good tackler, so I could see that. But again, I'd probably be on a City center back. All right. So everybody got tons of feedback. You all like me kind of playing with builds. So I'm going to leave like 2 slots out here. But I like Kane. So let's say that I put Kane in. I only have 4,300 left. So let's go find a cheap City center back. And now we got like 4,700. Got to pay all the way down a goalie. Again, you should always, when you're building, start with the cheapest and see where it ends with your lineup. And then if all of a sudden you get a good lineup and you have 1,000 left over, well, then you go. So we got 10-5. So, if we look at utility here, we're not priced out of Mahrez, but we only get 2,800 left. So he would go in our midfield. You could punt a center back. You already have a center back. I don't really love 2 center backs, but I think it's valuable. So maybe you kind of want to look down further here. Maybe Bernardo Silva makes some sense if you want more City and you got 4,500 left. Rodri would be there at that point. Who else is at 4,500? Loftus-Cheek. Probably hurts me as a Liverpool fan, but that probably does make some sense. Walker. So that's not great range. Maybe reality is you don't get Kane. Maybe that's where you go Mahrez. Now we're here. We got 5,500 left. Really onslaught City. There's 3,700. So, that could be DS. So you could really, really onslaught City if you want. I think those are the builds. I think you're going to have a punt. I think realistically there's even let's say with the soft pricing, you still want studs. Studs are still going to get you there. So let's just look real quickly at this punt range. Let me just name out a couple names as they come to me. Walker, I guess, is okay. Where's Zinchenko? 4,600, a little too expensive. So Walker, I like Rodrigo, 4K. I think that might be my favorite punt. Diaz, not that different than Rodrigo. Ndombele, 3,700, I like. No, not a Fred Slate. Bergwijn, if you can keep some flexibility from the last game, there's a really good chance that Bale doesn't start here just from a fitness perspective. And Bergwijn, 3,500 would be a guy that I would definitely want. So if you can have flexibility, if you plugged in him, you could always go Højbjerg, or if Højbjerg is an N, you get Winks. So maybe that could work. So I think probably my favorite value is potentially Bergwijn. If he starts, and if he doesn't, it's not that big of a deal if you have to go like a Tottenham center back or Højbjerg. So yeah, there you go. That's the video. Hope you enjoyed. I hope I satisfied at least a few people in terms of some soccer content on Sunday morning. Good luck today. See you.